Hello and welcome to Andy and Katie's allotment. As you know, I'm Andy, and it's quite an exciting time because this is the first planting video that I've done, showing me doing some sowing. And the first thing that I'm going to sow is some chillies. It's from a kit that I was bought for Christmas. It's got 3 different types of chillies on, which I'll come into in a minute. And basically it comes with some compost, some coir, and obviously the seeds and some pots. So let's have a look and see what is in the kit. So the 3 types of chilies that I've got are Cayenne, Habanero and Naga. Now Naga, I do know, is a really hot one. As you can see, there's some numbers underneath. So Cayenne's 30,000 to 50,000 SHU, Habanero 200,000 to 350,000 SHU, and Naga is 1,000,000 SHU. Now those of you who are not familiar with the scale that they're talking about there, it's a measure of heat in chilies, and it's called the Scoville scale. So that number, the higher the number, the hotter the chili, basically. So as you can see, the Naga are 1,000,000 Scoville, and the Cayenne are between 30,000 and 50,000. So quite, as you can see, quite a lot hotter with the Habanero in the middle. What I've got here is some coir. So this was in just, well, it's as it still is now, blocks. I've not broken it up yet. I just mixed it with 350 ml of water, just to give it some body, some water in it to make it swell. So it does swell up quite a lot in the little container that I've done it in. And then what we've got is the 3 pots that I'm going to plant the chilies in, and the chili seeds, and finally a bag of compost. So what I'm going to do when the coir is ready and it's been soaked for about an hour, then I'm going to mix the compost with the coir to make a nicely well drained medium. So it's the 2nd of January today, so it is quite early, but they do need a long time. Chilies are quite slow growing, so they do need quite a long time to actually grow. So the coir has now absorbed all the water, and so as you can see, I put it in they're terracotta pots that have come in this kit. So I've filled them quite full, but not right to the top, and I've still got some compost left. So what I'm going to do now is put the seeds in. Okay, so I'm just going to scatter the seeds on the surface of the compost. Try and get them nicely spread out somewhere around the pot, so they don't need to be really neat and accurate. So that's the Naga. Next is the Habanero. So I'm just going to do the same with those. Just scatter them over the surface of the compost. What I did when I filled the pots is I did it in like a layering way. So I just put some coir in the bottom, then some compost, then some more coir, compost, and then finished with a layer of coir on the top. And that's the Habanero seeds on the surface of the compost. And finally we've got the Cayenne, or sometimes they're known as bird's eye chilies. So if you see the ones, usually the ones that you buy in the shops, the long thin ones, Habanero, bird's eye chilies, or Cayenne. So I presume they're also what they use to make cayenne pepper when it's dried. So there we go. What I'm going to do next is I'm just going to label each chilli to make sure I can remember which is which. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is cover with a very light scattering of compost. Most seeds don't like to be covered too deep, so it's a matter of just getting them nicely covered. Excuse my camera. I'm just trying to hold the camera whilst scattering the compost. But there we go, you can see what I've done there. So I've nicely covered the seeds. Just give it a push down with my hand. And the same with this one. So then that's all three lots of chilies now covered with a thin covering of compost. So the next thing I'm going to do is just give it a water. Not too much, but just a nice soaking, because bearing in mind that I did already soak the coir before I did anything else, so it doesn't need to be too wet. I'll just leave it to drain for a bit now before I do the last bit. So the final thing that I'm going to do is put them each one into one of these little plastic bags. That's just until they get germinated, and then I will take them out of the bag. It just gives them like a little greenhouse to get started. Then what will happen is they'll go on a sunny windowsill until they germinate. So and there we have it. 3 pots of 3 different types of chilies in their little greenhouses. As I say, they'll go on a sunny windowsill, or a windowsill. I can't guarantee it's going to be sunny this time of year. And we'll see where we go. I'll keep you posted as to how they're going. So today's the 2nd of January when I've sowed these 3 types of chilli. Thanks for watching. As I say, this is Katie and Andy's allotment. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these, plus the allotment tours, over the next few months, or over the next year, in fact. So if you want to keep in contact, to keep in touch with what we're doing and how we're going on, then please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Andy and Katie's Allotment.